The story begins in 1950 when James Wright walks into the Edo dojo. Inside, he observes the discipline of the students training hard and immediately asks to speak with the master about the man whose portrait dominates the wall. The master explains that his father had told him stories about this fighter's unmatched spirit and dangerous, unorthodox style. He warns James that his very presence has brought shame and trouble to the dojo. To prove his point, the master orders his students to challenge him. In a flash of speed and power, James overpowers them all within moments. Impressed by his skill, the master demands to know why James has come. From there, the story shifts back to 1942, during the height of World War II in the Battle of Bataan. James, a decorated British wing commander serving the Allies, is caught in the collapse of the front lines as the Japanese advance relentlessly. During a dogfight, his plane is shot down, forcing him to crash deep inside enemy territory. Badly wounded, he struggles to fight off Japanese soldiers before finally being captured. Dragged to a cruel prisoner of war camp, James meets the ruthless Lieutenant Colonel Ito. Underestimating him, Ito orders Corporal Hayano and a group of men to take James into the forest and kill him. But James, fighting with sheer will to survive, turns the tables and kills his would-be executioners. Fleeing into the jungle, he stumbles upon one of their aircraft, only to be caught in a trap and recaptured. Brought back before Ito, James has his belongings seized and is told he will not live past the next day. At the camp, he encounters Allied prisoners from different nations, Americans, Filipinos, and others broken by war. To break his spirit, Ito forces James into a death match with a half-starved giant of a man. James wins, but the victory feels hollow, weighing heavily on him. Later, Ito's second-in-command pushes to execute James immediately, but Ito refuses, saying his moment will come. Soon, James is brought to Ito's office, where his fate hangs in the balance. There, James meets Teresa, a captured nurse forced to tend to Japanese soldiers. Fascinated by James's strength, Ito demands to know where he learned such forbidden techniques. James refuses to reveal his master's identity. Furious, Ito declares that James will be dead within a day. The next morning, James is dragged into another brutal fight against fellow prisoners. Even as he fights for his life, he begins planning. Determined to call for help, he and the others distract the guards during labor, allowing James to steal a radio. The following day, Ito gathers all the captives, reminding them that any escape attempt will be punished severely. To drive home his warning, he punishes those he suspects of plotting. James remains undeterred. That night, he sneaks into the jungle, scouting for a place to send a signal. Cleverly, he leaves his shoes in bed, fooling the guards into thinking he never left. When he returns, he explains to the others that they need someone fluent in codes to contact the Americans. Soon after, Ito confronts James again, testing him with questions about Navajo and Indian dialects. James pretends ignorance, which only enrages the colonel. In a brutal act of cruelty, Ito has James tied to poles and beaten nearly to death before throwing him into yet another fight. Somehow, James survives, though several prisoners are executed before his eyes. When he awakens, Teresa is at his side, nursing his wounds. She tells him he is the first prisoner to ever receive such care. Recovered, James rallies the other captives. During his blackout, a message had circulated from General MacArthur, warning Japanese forces that an Allied attack was imminent. This news sparks hope among the prisoners. That night, they put their communication plan into action. Though they manage to kill one guard, they spare the life of a frightened young soldier before retreating back to their bunks. The next day, Ito confronts the group. James takes responsibility for the attack, claiming he acted alone. Skeptical, Ito orders James to perform a forbidden killing technique on another prisoner. James refuses, and in retaliation, Ito executes the man himself. Later, James once again challenges Ito to a duel, but the colonel refuses and instead sends him back to hard labor. While working, James tells his men that they must send a signal that very night. With the help of a skilled coder, they succeed in transmitting their location. But when they return to the camp, they find it empty and are quickly ambushed and beaten unconscious. Upon waking, they find the camp under siege. Amid the chaos, Teresa and her friend Anna rush to their aid, only to discover the radio destroyed. As the Japanese forces begin slaughtering everyone in sight, James formulates a desperate plan to seize another radio. Teresa and Anna join the fight, killing a guard while the prisoners rise up, driven by anger and the will to survive. Before escaping, James storms into Ito's office, demanding a final showdown. Their fierce battle is interrupted when one of James' men pulls him away. When Ito's second-in-command tries to fire at them, the colonel himself intervenes, halting the chaos and allowing James to flee. At last, James and his comrades make it to a safe location and manage to signal the Americans. Allied forces respond quickly, overwhelming the Japanese and rescuing the survivors. Back in 1950, the story returns to the dojo. The master dismisses his students and faces James in a fight. After an intense duel, James defeats him, but asks to be shown the forbidden move his father once spoke of, bringing the journey full circle. Thank you for watching. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more recaps. Until next time, have a wonderful day.